Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, and yes, I am back for one final end of 2022 wrap up video. I've been recording all of these just in one row. Last night, I got all the kind of stuff put together for the videos. I made myself a few notes, and yeah, I'm just trying to get these recorded and so I can upload them ahead of time so they're ready. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing this for a good few hours now, and my voice is starting to kind of go. So if I got to get a drink of water a little bit more often this time, you'll know why. But we are wrapping up this recap of 2022, and this time we're actually going to be looking ahead to next year because next year seems like it's going to be a pretty promising year in a lot of different ways. So we are going to continue our background video here of the TMNT Cowabunga collection, and this time we're going to kick up a little bit of the Manhattan Project, an original sequel to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game that came out on the NES. And yeah, this is a really solid one that I have not officially beaten yet because I get about halfway through it and then I get killed. So we're just going to let the game play through. And like I said, I like the autoplay here because it makes it easier for me to talk and concentrate on what I'm blabbing about, but it actually gives you something more than just a background screen to look at. So kudos for them adding these features. It's come in very handy this year for my end of the year videos. Anyway, let's get going. So yeah, 2022 has been quite an interesting year, as you've heard so far. 2023, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover like some games that I'm looking forward to, and also just some of the things that I'm hoping to accomplish or do, or maybe even a couple of wish list items that I would like to be able to do. No idea if they're going to happen or not, but it's something to shoot for. So, as I talked in one of the recent videos, and I really haven't had any feedback on it, interestingly enough. No one has really said anything, good, bad, or the otherwise. I had talked a little bit about in a recent channel update video about a couple of playlist options a new couple of series that I had thought about creating. And I was doing some additional thinking about it afterwards. And I think what I might do, I haven't fully decided, but rather than doing two playlists, I might just sort of combine them into one because I kind of like the, I can tie technology and just overall life experiences because for me they blend together like it's kind of one and the same. Like I'm a freaking nerd, so I do a lot with technology, and I just like as I grew up I was fascinated with games and tech and nerdy stuff, and so I can talk some about employment and games and tech and assistive technology and speech synthesizers and God only knows what other craziness I could come up with. But go back and listen to that video um, with those ideas because I think it would be kind of fun, just kind of a look back, kind of looking back at how far we've come. When I was a little kid and the Apple II came out, and I got to see that. I got the Atari, the Atari 2600, the NES, and going from what were back then to what we have now, we've got VR headsets were literally science fiction in the 90s. Remember Lawnmower Man? Remember how weird and gimmicky that seemed? And now we have better VR than what they portrayed in movies back then. We have cell phones that are just so powerful and can do can do so many things, and they're just in the palm of your hand. So I think what I'm thinking about doing is, and the title again, keeping it tied into the whole channel. I'm thinking about calling it "Growing Up Illegally Cited," because that's kind of a thing of like, yeah, I can. It's kind of a memoir, kind of uh, a history. I can talk about whatever I want. It's kind of memories. And again, like I said in other videos, I've thought about actually writing a book at some point. And I could even call that book Growing Up Illegally Sighted. I stumbled upon that when recording that previous video, and I'm like, the more I think about it, that actually works. If I wrote a book for it, I could, title it, give it a subtitle or something, but Growing Up Illegally Sighted, that could just work. So that is a project that I might think about starting for after the first of the year. Maybe, especially since I'm not streaming right now, maybe those could take place of Monday videos, and I could just have, again, I'll be covering a specific topic each week, and look at it that way. The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of intrigued about at least giving it a try. Like I said, I haven't heard anything from anyone in the comments or on Twitter or anything like that, but you know, I think it could work. So that's something that I might be kind of interested in giving a shot. Um, of course, I'm really interested in continuing the more, game and app and tech consulting opportunities on the side outside of my day job. I've been having a lot of fun with that the last few years, continuing to work with XR Access, the Microsoft Low Vision Advisory Board. I enjoy doing both of those things, being involved in those, helping to make Microsoft products or VR products more accessible. Hopefully, VR accessibility at least starts to happen on the consumer side of things. I'm really hoping that that eventually happens because it sure hasn't so far. But yeah, I'm interested in doing all of that kind of work, continuing to, and of course my day job. I really, again, I find doing these videos, some of the channel updates and these type of end of year videos, but like I really find that I enjoy doing panels, doing interviews, doing podcasts, audio, video, whatever. I've done both. I've done a couple of video podcasts with people. I've done several audio podcasts. I've been a guest on a podcast with people. And for a little while there, I was on Blind Abilities for quite a while, and then they just kind of it stopped happening for whatever reason. So not sure what happened with that, but I said the Aaron Spelker things; those have been fun. Theory of a Blind Man, Vision Forward, doing that kind of stuff. Presenting at the Game Accessibility Conference. A couple other NDA things that I've done. I'm really like, yeah, I like doing. I still find it so funny because in high school and early college, I hated public speaking. And as I said before, I think it's really because in high school you had to do these set speeches. It's like, yeah, go ahead and go in front of the class and blab in front of people that you know about crap that you don't know anything about. It's like, oh, I want you to read this poem. I want you to read or give a speech on a topic that, whatever. We just assign you a topic. I'm like, no, I hated that. But I mean, come on. Now I can blab endlessly. So I think I've kind of overcome my fear of public speaking. But yeah, I enjoy doing it, and so hopefully I have more opportunities with that next year. Yeah, one thing that I would absolutely love, especially doing this consulting work, working with game companies and that, I would love to see, especially in a mainstream game. I mean, yeah, a blind accessible game or a game developed for blind players, sure. But I would love, love, love to just even one time have my name in the game credits for a mainstream game where I contributed to accessibility, help make a game more accessible. I know there's been people that have had their names in like God of War, Ragnarok, or the Last of Us series. And like I said, I'm not doing it to brag. Um, that's not why I want to do it, but I think it would be really cool to do just to say that I've had my name in there and then I was able to help on a project of that kind of level. And, again, as I'm doing this stuff more and more professionally, it's a resume builder. You can literally legitimately reach out and say, hey, I was officially part of the accessibility team in making of this game, and that can help you get more work. So, yeah, that is another reason I think it would be really, really cool to have. So, I would love, whether it's next year or beyond, just before things are all said and done, I would love to see my name in a mainstream games credits for being able to help with accessibility. I think that would be a really cool thing that I would love to make happen. And I need to get some water because my throat is getting a little raw here. There we go. Good for a little while longer. Um, but yeah, my name in the game credits. I got a magazine article published, so that's cool. And I'm promoting accessibility. Very happy about that. Reload Magazine, baby. Check it out. Um, so I'd love to do that. Um, again, continuing to do the game awards. I've been a jury member for the Game Awards since they introduced the Innovation and Accessibility category in 2020, and they've asked me to repeatedly be a jury member for that category, and that's really cool. Being a part of that, and excuse me, and just having a voice in, again, making accessibility a little bit more mainstream. And as I said in one of the recent videos, I said, the Game Awards video where I talked about it, I would love to see, it doesn't have to be me necessarily, um, but I would love to have somebody, whoever is presenting the award in the future, the Innovation and Accessibility Award, have somebody with a disability who actually is affected by these games and these accessibility features, have them present the award, because then you're actually giving more, not just to the games, but to the people with disabilities that are playing them. So that's what I'd love to see going forward. So those are some of my kind of personal highlights of things that I would love to be able to do, things that I'm actively probably going to try to do, and we will see. Now I kind of just we're just going to run down a list of some other things and games and things that I'm wanting to do. Of course, at the top of my list, I'm hoping to get this video card shenanigans straightened out, and hopefully I'll be able to get a PC upgrade in the near future so I can quit talking about that and just have it again. I'd love to do that. Um, and then I've got a few games listed again. I've talked about them a little bit already, but I'll just mention them here. They're games that are out now, but because of my current rig, I can't really play them, or I just haven't bought them yet. So, like Metal Hellsinger, played it a little bit. I loved it, but it just does not agree with my current machine right now. So when I get an upgrade, I am definitely going to come back to some Metal Hellsinger. Evil West is a game that I want to play, that I want to cover. It's kind of one of those almost like a B level tier games, and not to say that Bs are bad, because there's some awesome games in like the Xbox, PS2 era days, where you had these games that they weren't like the highest budget, but they were just fun video games. And Evil West it's kind of like you've got melee, you've got guns, you're like this gunslinger western dude in the Wild West, and there's like vampires or like mutants or monsters or something. Kind of reminds me of, like I said, there was this game called Dark Watch. It was a first person shooter on the original Xbox that was kind of neat, but it kind of has that vibe. And I've almost bought it a couple times. I could probably get by with running it on my computer right now. And I'm kind of trying to wait for the Steam holiday sale, because even if it goes down 10, 20%, I would save a little bit of money on it. But I kind of really want to play it. It just looks really fun. it looks like a game that I would really kind of enjoy. So Evil West, the Callisto Protocol, that is out right now, and I've been hearing mixed things. Some people really love it, and some people are not down with it at all. I think for what I'm looking for, or for the way that people are describing it, it's kind of a Dead Space game type of game, but it's more like a little bit more melee focused, maybe a little bit more actiony than Dead Space. Sounds like there might be a few frustrations here and there, but it's one that, again, especially if I found it on sale, I would like to check it out either on console or PC. I don't know if my current rig would be able to handle it, so maybe I'll be looking for that one on a console, at least until I get my computer upgraded. So Callisto Protocol, it's one that I want to look at. Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. This is another one that I'm very much interested in. I did briefly try it the other night, and it does work on my computer, but it really does hitch some. It does not run super great, and I'm running everything on low. And I don't know if it was just for that first time or the first load, but holy jeebus. The first time I loaded a level, it literally sat on the loading screen for over 5 minutes. So I'm like, yeah, I kind of need an SSD here. When I loaded subsequent levels, it only took me about a minute, but it was still, yeah, running everything on low and taking forever to load. Yeah, it is definitely showing its age. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it more on my PC right now or if I will, but I might, again, this might be one where I'm definitely going to come back to that when I get my new rig. But yeah, because Warhammer 40,000, it's from the same developers that made Vermintide 1 and 2, so it's going to be good. Um, Goat Simulator 3. I own it. I haven't tried it, but it theoretically might work on my current rig, but I will definitely try it on my new one. And there's no Goat Simulator 2. That's the joke, is that they're going from 1 to 3. I've seen some footage of Goat Simulator 3 and it just looks nuts. It's kind of the just random chaos of the first game, but amplified even more so to more ridiculous degrees. And there's a lot of like weird references to things and just bizarre things happening. And it just looks like a lot of fun. A lot of it's just a game that's just a bunch of dumb fun that I really want to play. So Goat Simulator 3, looking forward to that. Dead Space, the remake that is coming out in January. Very intrigued to see what they're going to do with this. It looks amazing. And I don't know. I want to know what kind of accessibility features. Hopefully, they're going to implement some of that in there. I mean, man, yeah, being able to play that on my PS5 or Series S or something. Maybe pick up the PC version when it goes on sale eventually when I'm upgraded. But I definitely want to check that out. I'm very curious. It sounds like they're doing a lot of neat stuff with that game. Let's see, Dead Space. Then we have Forspoken. This is a PlayStation exclusive game, and it's also on PC. And I don't know, like my current system is like right on the edge. I don't know that I would want to run it, but I played the demo that just came out. They had the Game Awards announced a demo, and I played it the other night, and it was pretty solid. Kind of an open world, kind of reminded me of something like, oh, what was it called? Immortals Phoenix Rising to a degree. But you've got gun combat, you've got melee combat, you have like this talking weapon or something. You're this lady, and like I don't really know what's going on with the story, but it was fun just like battling enemies and collecting things. And they do have some accessibility features in the demo, but sadly there's no text to speech. And I wish their navigation system was a little bit better. Like they have just the kind of the big old diamonds like a lot of open world games do. It's like, hey, vaguely go in this direction. See if you can figure out how in the hell to get up this mountain where your objective is or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's one that I want to keep my eye on because I had fun with what I played in the demo. and I think it's supposed to come out early next year. So yeah, Forspoken, that could be good. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I want this to be good because I love Zelda games, and I've already talked about how in Breath of the Wild, like I liked a lot of what they did there, but just some of the systems were just a little bit annoying or a little bit tedious for me. I really didn't care for the I hated the weapon break. Like, weapon breaking is fine, but like most of the weapons that I had were just like twigs. Like you get a sword, you would kill a dude with it, maybe two, and then it was broken. At least like Oblivion or something, when I played those, like, yeah, you had repair hammers and, you could kill a couple dozen dudes with it before it broke. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't like that system. And then the whole figuring out recipes and cooking and that, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if they're going to change any of that for the new game. We really don't know hardly anything about it yet. But Zelda, it's one I'm curious about. Um, Hogwarts Legacy. I am genuinely interested in this game. I know a lot of people are really anti the Harry Potter series with J.K. Rowling being as stupid as she's been lately, and I get it. Um, and I mean, I know she's going to get some like residuals, or she's going to be making money from this regardless somehow. But like the developers who are behind it, they've already come out and said, it's like, no, we are not. We're doing kind of. I mean, yes, it's based on her universe, but we're not saying we're actively supporting her. We're just, we're using the franchise. And there's a lot of people who are, developing the game and putting a lot of their effort into it and, are good people. It's like, it's really tough because where do you draw the line between like the creator and what they create? Or even what other people create based on the creator. So like, oh, the author of this book, um, is a bad person, but then somebody else who you really like, let's say, makes a movie or a game or adapts it in some other way, um, do you not support that at all? And I'm not gonna say like, hey, if you don't want to support the game, don't. That's fine. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one either, but I am curious about it. Just the thought of with the little bit of footage that I've seen, and I don't know what this turtle is doing. He's been on this battle forever. I don't know what's going on. What are you guys doing? This AI is not that bright as we're watching this battle. Um, but like, like the way that they realize the whole castle, and not just the castle, but like the surrounding. Like, if I can go down to Hogsmeade, or I don't know if we'll have like King's Cross at some point, or um, the Diagon Alley. I don't know. I mean, I love the idea of being able to explore and play in those environments. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't think I would like Harry Potter either, but then my friends just hounded me and wanted me to read it, and I'm like, hey, this actually isn't all that bad. So I am curious about it. Um, I know there's definitely some mixed thoughts for people on that, and I get it. But we'll see going forward. It is one that I'm going to keep an eye on. Atomic Hearts. This is an Xbox one, I believe, and Xbox and possibly PC. I don't really know what the whole gist of it is, the story or whatever, but it's like this first person game that looks really kind of intriguing, and it seems to be melee focused in a lot of ways. It looks really interesting though, and I'm kind of intrigued to see it. That is one I'm kind of wanting to see more of. Kirby and the Return to Dreamland. This is, I think, like a kind of like a remaster or like a remake of some of the older 2D Kirby games, or it's an all new one. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember if it's an all new game or if they're just kind of doing a remake of some older ones. But it looks pretty neat. You know, the 2D Kirby games are pretty fun, so I'd like to check that out. The Last of Us coming to PC. I already talked about that in the Accessibility Day video, but yes, I mean, I know I've bought the game already once, or well, twice if you count the PS3 version, but um, again, being able to play this on a PC and just supporting the work that they're doing for accessibility, maybe being able to try to play this with the keyboard and mouse, seeing how that works. Yeah, as long as I have my upgraded computer by then or whenever I get it, yes, I will definitely be looking at this because it is just a fantastic game. Jedi Survivors. I still need to get around to really playing and beating the first game. Um, I again, it was when Riley was up here, and then things just kind of went a little haywire, and I never got back into it. Oh, hey, he finally beat the guy. Holy crap, we finally are making progress. He was on that one battle forever. I was kind of not paying attention, but I kept looking up, and the turtle was just like going back trying to fight. Okay, so yeah, now we got more chaos. We'll see how long it takes him to beat this level, but that was really funny. Um, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, the Jedi. Yeah, I mean the third-person actiony lightsaber game it looks fun, and I liked what I played of the original. I just need to play much more of it. The Resident Evil 4 remake. This looks really kind of cool. I don't know if, or I don't know how what kind of accessibility features are going to be in it. I sort of have a I'm a little more leery about Japanese developed games because at least so far historically they have not been the most accessible games ever. It seems to be a lot more the North American games, maybe European stuff that has more of the features in it. But I would love to be wrong. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with that. I mean, it looks really good, but I'm very curious to see what they do with Resident Evil 4. Crime Boss. This is one I don't really know a lot about, but it just looks really interesting. They had it on the Game Awards. We haven't seen a really much. I haven't seen at least much of any gameplay for it, but the concept and it's supposed to be, I think, part action and a little bit of stealth and you're running a crime boss, kind of a Grand Theft Auto game. I'm not even sure if it's first or third person, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's one that I'm at least going to keep my eye on. Dead Island 2. I really enjoyed the first Dead Island, despite a few of its jank issues. I enjoyed it, and I played through it once on my own, and actually played it co-op with my friend for a second playthrough, and we saw there was a little gameplay showcase that showed some footage of it, and yeah, it looks really cool. Like it's not like Dying Light where it's his focus on parkour, but it's got there's some guns, but there's a lot of focus on just caving zombies in heads in with caving their skulls in with melee weapons, and there was some really neat like modified weapons that you could craft in the first game, and it seems like it's fine. The second one is finally starting to shape up, so we're gonna get that next year. That I'm looking forward to. Dead Island 2, yeah. RoboCop. We haven't seen anything about this except for like a little teaser. I don't know if it's gonna make 2023. It might not, but I desperately want a good RoboCop game. The NES ones were, eh. There was one on the Xbox that I never played, but it looked terrible. And I've watched like two was okay. Three was really pretty terrible. But the original 1987 RoboCop movie, I maintain, is still one of the best action movies ever made. Um, I mean, there's so many levels of it. Like you have a lot of people just see it as a dumb, super violent action movie, which it is on one level. Because yeah, people just like look at the Ed 209 boardroom scene. Look at Murphy getting just his hand and arm blown off, basically almost dying. The toxic waste scene at the end. Just there's so many memorable moments, and yeah, the AI in this Turtles game is not playing very well. I mean, it's really funny watching this actually, but you have that level, but then you really, if you dig into it, you have the story of Murphy, and then like he basically dies, comes back, and they wipe his memory, or they try to, and he's kind of a robot that is just this badass crime fighting robot, but then he finds things out, discovers who he is, gets some of his humanity back, sees that his family's house is being sold, and just, I mean, there's actually a lot of good story there if you dig a little bit deeper than what a lot of people see for the surface level of that movie. And I want a good third or first, I could see it being either way, third or first person game based on the original RoboCop movie. None of this 2014 nonsense. None of this, RoboCop 2 or 3, but you could make, if you had the right developer, you could make a damn fine video game based on the original RoboCop movie. That would be really cool. So I really want that to be good. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, two fighting games that are looking mighty good, especially Street Fighter 6 is really looking intriguing. Like the presentation, the open world things, there's like mini games, there's commentator during gameplay, there's like more of an accessible streamlined move system. They're doing so many different totally new things that they've never done for the Street Fighter series before. And especially after the lackluster reception that Street Fighter V got, I mean, I'm really intrigued to check out this Street Fighter 6 business. It's coming out in June, unless it gets delayed. But I'm there. I'm very intrigued to see what this is going to be like, and maybe it'll be, who knows? Maybe we get a Sento Showdown for that one of these years because we can take a little break from Mortal Kombat, and if they add accessibility to that, maybe, who knows? We'll see what we get. Tekken, that we saw a little bit of gameplay for that during the Game Awards. It looked pretty good. I hope that we have English dub for the dialogue, but I don't know if we will because that story is just absolutely ridiculous in the series so far. But I'm curious to see what Tekken's going to be. Alan Wake 2. I don't know if this is going to make 2023, but I love the first game and I'm very curious to see where they take it. It's kind of they're going more of in a horror route with it, I guess, from what they say. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be. Speaking of horror, there's a new Amnesia game coming sometime next year. I don't remember the subtitle. I don't remember what it's called, but interestingly, I saw there's a brief teaser trailer for it, and this time, at least for part of it, you actually are able to fight back because they showed a character with a gun, a pistol or something, if I remember correctly. So I don't think combat is going to be the main focus, but it's going to be at least something different from the helpless, like, oh, I can do nothing but run and hide thing that Amnesia and so many other games like Outlast and just so many other games have done since those games started really taking off. So I'm kind of curious to see where that's going to go. I'm a little more cautious because the last Amnesia game I really didn't like all that much. But, they made the original Amnesia The Dark Descent, which I really liked, and Soma was amazing. So I hope it's good. I hope they get back on track again. Angerfoot, I talked about that in the first person shooter video. The full game of that should be coming out next year. That is going to be a really fun first person melee focused, some guns, but like, just kicking dudes in the face, super aggressive. Check the video out for the demo that I played. Trepang 2, basically an homage to the original Fear. There's been 2 demos of that game out so far, and they're amazing. I cannot wait to play more of that game. I want to play the full story. I want to play all the survival modes. That is just a fun video game. Trepang 2. I really want that game to succeed because what I've played of it is awesome. I think later this year, actually, like around Christmas, is it? They have the Avatar movie coming out. Now, I know a lot of people hated the new or the old Avatar, and was it the best movie in the world? No, but I rather enjoyed it. I remember seeing it, and I thought it was fine. But they're going to be making a new game based on the new Avatar movie coming up. And it could be good. And I never did get to play. They did make a game of the original Avatar movie, but it got delisted. It was on Steam and I never bought it. And then it got delisted at some point, and so I've never been able to buy or play it. It was some kind of a third person action game. I probably again your B level, your B tier game. But yeah, you cannot play it anymore. Maybe they'll bring it back or something. Maybe they'll get rights to it and bring it back with the sequel coming out. I don't know. But I don't know. That one's kind of a casual wait and see if it's any good type of thing. Hades 2. Very curious to see if they're going to add native accessibility features into that game based on what the mods did for the first one. I mean, even without the mods, I know a lot of blind players played Hades. So I really enjoyed the first game, and yes, they're making a sequel, and yes, I'm very, very interested in seeing what that is going to be like. Hades 2. Um, let's see what else we got. Oh yes, there's going to be a new House Flipper I saw. House Flipper 2. As much time as I wasted playing the first game and listening to audiobooks and podcasts, this is going to be another great one. Excuse me, I get the hiccups now. Another great one to play. House Flipper 2, very much intrigued about what that's going to be. First person, just kind of renovating and selling and designing houses. It was pretty fun. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. That I'm very intrigued about. A Castlevania themed Dead Cells expansion. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Castlevania enemies going after Dracula. Yeah, I'm count me in. I definitely want to see what that's going to be like. And I need to get one more drink of water here, guys. Yeah, the throat is definitely feeling it. I've been talking for like 3 hours or better straight now, but like I said, I'm plowing through this, man. We're getting her done, and then I can start uploading these, and then they'll be ready for the end of the year. Um, I don't know if this is coming out next year, but Judas. This is that. I think this is like the BioShock developer one. But it's first person. What little gameplay we saw of it, it looked really intriguing. I'm very curious to see what that's going to be. It looks interesting. Transformers reactivated. I think this is supposed to be a first person thing, or at least there was something that indicated like it might be. Um, Other than that little teaser we saw at the Game Awards, I didn't, that was the first time we'd seen or heard of anything of it. So I don't know. Like, is it going to be based on the movies? Is it going to be its own thing? Is it going to be based on G1? Like, I liked the one where they did the G1. I did a video of it when it came out. I I can't remember what it was called, but that was a pretty neat little game. Um, I wonder what form this one will take. And I would love a good Transformers game because I do enjoy the Transformers. Come on, man! I bought the really expensive Optimus Prime for God's sake. Um, Space Marine 2. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. That one looks like a fun third-person action game, slicing and shooting dudes. That looked pretty good from what I've seen so far. So, not sure when that's coming out, but supposedly next year. And finally, Starfield. Um, Again, that, hopefully, like I said, I'll have my PC by the time that happens, and basically you get the Elder Scrolls guys doing their new IP, their new franchise. They're setting it in space. And I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be like. They're talking about like, oh, you can go through gazillions of planets and things. My guess is there are going to be some hand created ones for major story missions, and there's going to be a lot of procedurally generated stuff. And we'll see how that shapes out. But I really want that game to be good, and like I was re- I was really excited about it a couple of years ago, but it's just been in development for so long, and we've been waiting for it that until I hear a little bit more, um, like concrete details of it. I mean, I'm still excited for it, but we really haven't seen any gameplay. It's just been like, oh, here's some like cutscene footage or whatever. I want to know like a little bit more specifics about the actual gameplay from hour to hour. Because it could be something that I could totally lose myself in. I could see myself really loving it. But again, with the way that Bethesda games, that those open, the Elder Scrolls or Fallout games have their own level of jank to them, especially with the state that a lot of games are released in these days, releasing things before they're finished and they're buggy or broken or performance is bad. Um, I really, really want Starfield to be good, and I really, really hope that Bethesda is going to finally add some accessibility. I would love for them to have, especially since I know there's going to be some quests and inventory management and perks and skills, and I'm sure there's going to be all of those types of things. So, could this be the game that they finally maybe add some text to speech for their menus? I would love, love, love to see that happen. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath, but maybe. And the only other couple things that I have written here at the end, um, a couple other things like, indie games is where I'm finding the most fun, the most surprising innovation. So these are like everything that I've mentioned so far, these are just things that we know about, but it's always the little things like the Vampire Survivors, the Power Wash simulators, the things that come out of nowhere that are like, oh God, this is just amazing. It's fun. And it comes out of nowhere. I'm really looking forward to seeing those. And I'm really looking forward to also seeing, like, in addition to indie games, what other types of collections, like retro gaming collections, might come out. I mean, look at what Digital Eclipse has done with the Turtles games here, what they did with Atari 50. I cannot wait to see what they have next because every time they release a new game, every time they do their own collections, they get better every time. And I don't know how they're going to top Atari 50, but knowing them, they probably will. Um, so yeah, I'm very curious to see, and again, maybe we're going to get to play some fun, even if they're not from them, but even if we get some other retro collections from other companies, just to be able to play some of these classics again. Looking forward to that. Um, so those are some games. Um, as far as trends for next year, things that I would like to see or that I'm wondering if we're going to see, we're going to wrap up with a few of these. There was a session during I attended the SiteTech Global Conference just this past week as I'm recording this. And one of their sessions was they're called the Celeste glasses. They're kind of like the Envision glasses, but they want to make it a little more affordable because that was one of their complaints is like, yeah, they have all these things, but they're so expensive, and you either have to be you have to coax a rehab agency or something with somebody with big money to buy them for you, or you're just not going to get them. Um, and they're talking about working with things like with in their session they were talking about, yeah, we want to work with like Seeing AI and integrate their stuff in there. And it's got the bone conduction for audio, it's got the camera thing. So they're saying a lot of the right things, and I don't know if they're going to be able to deliver on it. Again, we've heard how many blindness products have we heard at like CSUN or something that just don't come to fruition. Um, but I guess they have a couple people during that session had prototypes, and they were, again, it was early on. They already had some improvement suggestions, but it sounded like they at least had a little bit of a good thing going. And from what it sounds like, if you can pre-order them, if you look up the Celeste glasses, you can go to their website, and if you put $50 down, um, I think the way it works, and I'm gonna email them early this coming week here because I want to find out the specifics. But it sounds like they might send you like a prototype glasses because if you're willing to put the money down, then you can be involved in helping make suggestions and test their early prototypes so you can kind of get the software working well for everybody and help them design it. And I would absolutely love to do that because there are legit reasons where I could find some smart glasses to be very helpful. But again, do I want to pay $2,500 for a pair that only works with an app or two? I don't know. They don't have a set price for these Celeste glasses, but they're targeting about 900, 950, which yes is still expensive, but it's a hell of a lot better than 2,500 or more. So, at least that's something that I would consider, especially if it had enough of the features that I wanted. So I'm going to look into those if I can. Um, a VR accessibility question mark. What I wrote down again, is 2023 going to be the year where we finally see somebody take some initiative and actually release something outside of the research lab? I don't know. I would love to see it because, of course, I would. I would love to see that happen. I don't know. Are we going to get an iPhone with a USB C port finally? I don't know. If they do, it depends on what other features they would have, but it would be kind of tempted to upgrade. But like I said, I love my 13 Pro Max. I should be able to get through another couple years with it. But I know a lot of people are looking forward to a USB-C iPhone. I could see that being really nice. Um, Apple VR, are we going to get announcement of either their VR or AR headsets of some form? You know, they're thinking early 2023 maybe, but then everything gets pushed back all the time. So who knows? But the main reason I'm interested in that, even if it's expensive, is maybe that, oh, like I said, Apple, the things that they're doing, whether it's a watch, a phone, an Apple TV, a tablet, um, they have accessibility features in them. So maybe if they do a VR headset, maybe they will be the first one to say, hey, see, you can actually make VR content blind accessible. So very, very much intrigued to see what's going to happen when that finally happens. We have the Mario movie coming out next year, which I am again, I've seen enough of it where I know It looks like it's going to be a really solid movie, and people are dissing it because, oh, it's, it's a kid movie. Well, of course it is. Nintendo makes family-friendly movies, but I thought it was pretty charming. I am very interested to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I will, if not see it in theaters, I will for sure pick it up when it comes to digital. And if it's good enough, I may even get a physical copy, like on Blu-ray or something, because yeah, I think it'll be a fun, enjoyable little movie. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but I am hopeful that the Futurama coming back for like the third time now or fourth time. Um, that is, I think, coming next year. They announced it earlier this year. We had, the original series, then they had the movies, and then you had the Comedy Central uh, version of the series coming back. And I don't even remember what service or where it's coming to, but we should be getting the Futurama. I mean, I love the Futurama universe. I love the characters. Fry, Leela Bender, the Professor, Hermes, Zoidberg, Zap Brannigan. God, they're so good. Kiff, Amy, all the crazy, weird situations they get themselves in. It's just an awesome series, and it's one of my favorite of all time. So I really want it to come back, and I want it to be good. Um, and then, again, mainstream stuff we hear a little bit more about, but not so much accessibility. That's the thing, is what type of accessibility things are we going to have? I can't really think of many new apps that are missing. Like, what can't I do on my phone? Um, but they could surprise us. Maybe VoiceStream could have an update that I didn't even know I wanted. Maybe there'll be some new apps that do something cool that we haven't even thought of. Maybe there'll be LiDAR things. Maybe there'll be, I don't know. Who knows? Um, these smart glasses, whether it's Envision or Celeste, or there was another one that was some at SiteTech Global that they were talking about some kind of a smart. There weren't glasses, but it was more of like a, I don't know, like a headset thingy. And I don't know, they seemed a little bit more wishy-washy on just the whole. I don't know. I didn't have quite as much confidence in the other one. Um, but again, it's something to keep an eye on. But like, wearables, what is Apple going to do? What is Microsoft going to do? What independent things, whether it's an app or a hardware device or tool, I don't know. I mean, what accessible games do we get? I mean, like I said, I rattled off a good 20, 30 mainstream games, but again, we don't know jack about what possible accessible games are coming out. I mean, maybe there's a few that if I would follow the audio games forums more closely, maybe I would know about a couple more that to expect. But really, aside from a couple mainstream games that may include accessibility features, games designed for blind players, I don't know. I don't really know who would or what is going to be coming out for accessible games. I know I get comments in on Twitter, or I get comments in videos where, what games are coming out for blind people? I don't know. I kind of find it out the same time you guys do. Maybe I'll hear about something on AppleViz. Go visit appleviz.com, go visit audiogames.net. Those are a couple places I learn about them. I learn about them through people message me on Twitter or people leave comments. Those are really where I find, and then sometimes on Twitter. Like, there was a mainstream game that I tweeted about. I don't know if it's going to be blind accessible, but it's a game that's coming out next year, and he did an accessibility features promo trailer, just getting ahead of the release date there, letting people know about accessibility features. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what blind accessible games are going to be coming. Maybe they'll figure something out with Pitch Black. I don't know, but we will just have to wait and see. And with that, you guys, we finally made it. Whew, that was a lot of talking. I am going to kick back, relax, and I'm recording this on a Sunday, so I'm going to kick back and watch some football and not talk for a long time because I've been going now for, wow, it's 11:15 already. I think I started recording these suckers. Like I said, I woke up early this morning. I think I started recording these things at like 7 o'clock. So I've been recording, doing this Turtles thing, going through these 5 days of videos here. So yes, I am done talking for now. Um, Happy holidays, happy new year. Um, Interesting 2022. Hopefully it's an even better 2023. I don't know. But there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. Um, Hopefully you'll be able to get this growing up illegally cited thing going. Hope you guys enjoy that. Maybe see if that experiment works out okay. But yeah, the channel is going strong. I don't see anything slowing down in the near future. So yeah, we should be good. Hope and for any new subscribers, new viewers, welcome. Thank you for supporting Illegally Cited. Whether you've been supporting it for 10 years or 10 minutes, as I say, much appreciated. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegally illegally-cited.com, right here on YouTube. And if you know of other people who might find any of what I do helpful, please feel free to share it with others. Maybe you have a blind relative or visually impaired relative, friend, family member, um, sibling, spouse, whatever. Um, you work with people professionally, maybe who are blind or visually impaired. Whether it's gaming, accessibility, some of the app spotlights, VR, whatever it happens to be. Hopefully, you know, pass along my channel to them, and hopefully it'll be able to help. So with that, we're going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. And like I said, happy holidays, happy new year, and I will chat with you guys all again later.